really just didn't like.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't mind
true.
so much.
All right. Yeah, the point of this Diaper Sunrise Homestar Runner short was to, it sort of crossfades there.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a green screen of like children playing outside and stuff, and then in the Diaper Sunrise and stuff. It was just a commercial where I said I can make anything sort of like a decent commercial. Other celebrities would just say no. Well, I was like, I guess they were listening to me while I was in my kitchen. Anyways, I I was like, well, if I did a Huggies commercial, I put some diapers on the windows, it would line up with a sunrise, I'd have a green screen, it'd put it in, it'd be great. That's all. And then I sung that song that he's singing.
Yeah, green screen with all kinds of things. He's like singing about nature, so you gotta have like toddlers running through, grass that's waist high for them. It's all soft, It's like a puppy, chews on their diaper and stuff.
Exactly, all the different things. It was also because I was super depressed, so I was diaper sunrise on my life because everybody's acting like an infant is a kind of a reference to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun facts. Anyways, let's get to what we were actually here for. Give them what they came here for. Okay. This is the controller that Ammon made. I made the other one because I was like felt inadequate, so I had buttons with a stick on them.
Yeah.
We showed that off yesterday.
Yeah, so now I'm feeling annoyed because, of course, like I said they would. I said even though whoever initially designs my, prototype and 3D model, they should, like, make it hyper monk fruit, purple themed. So, it is enough. And then fucking phony Sony acts like they own those shapes, those Greek shapes and whatnot, other than the buttons there. And no, they don't. The concept of this controller. I came up with a few more designs here through today as I was looking at this, and one of which is, how all these controllers you can plug in one of those small keyboards into the bottom there hole? Well, what if instead there was like a whole port hookup for your cell phone with like a holder flange thing that you can, set your phone on and ratchet it and hold it into place off of your controller, because everybody wants that Wii U up their nostrils, experience and to live stream with. They're really into that. So then the controller can have that with your cell phone pairing. So then what I was thinking was, you could have buttons you could insert into the slots that are custom, like whatever's going to supersede Facebook or whatever, probably. Like, it's just a direct buttons, you can push, because people are into that. So they're silly. So they'll insert the button, push it, then their console will go to the app place, and then their phone, they can clip it onto their controller and tap with their thumbs on that while holding their controller as well. And, like, it can be balanced for that, and you can tilt your phone
or
at
a
different
custom
angles.
device that does that as through the console's browser thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It launches right in the console's browser or your PC or whatever that's paired with, and then it's Facebook 2.0, and you can like comment by using your phone, talking to your phone, video chat into your phone, live stream with your phone. And then like, your grandma, you can have a controller that has the stuff she wants, like Hulu and stuff, so they can just push the button and it's all big and shiny, but to further get past all this bullshit and get into the actual gaming, man, I'm like E3, this is awesome. Let's see. So like, you see how they're like two chunks of equal size that you can flip around? I said that should be the initial design. It's simple. It gets the job done.
Yeah, that way, because sometimes I want a PlayStation 3 user experience, but they act like as if those controllers don't work with PC, at least not easily, and I want a controller that's better than a PlayStation controller. That was the concept, so then he came up with this.
Yeah, so I'm a nutso, so I was thinking about it now, and I was like, what if we had another version of the controller where, how like um people's hands are different shapes. Like some people have pinkies that are like tiny micro compared to the rest of their hands. Some people have pinkies that are as long as their longest finger supposedly. There's all kinds of freaks of nature hands. So you need a larger like square area on either side to really dial in. Like say you want to put in your your thumbstick location. Well, if it was a bigger tile and the thumbstick was set off from the center of the tile that you insert to one side somewhat, into one corner a little bit, then you could flip that, you know, like image flip it 90 degrees and set it back in because it's square individually without the other side attachment flange. And you could then have that controller thumbstick be then located like a centimeter in different directions in four square.
Yeah, currently all that they have right now, it looks like in this design, is a replaceable tops to the D-pads. Within these modular designs, they don't actually have the two things be removable, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah. And my design would also allow, like I'm saying, just two larger square areas on either side of the controller. It would also allow for what I want, like you can insert thumbsticks that are like those magnetic ones I was talking about right in there. And then you have a big area to move it around.
Yeah. Something that I'd like to bring up is people are using something called potentiality actuators, and it's like they suddenly have forgotten everything, so fuck you, pay me, because you know, he already came up with this controller and an advancement to it. But on top of that, they're so stupid, it's like they don't understand that it should just be a magnetic ball. I mean, they want to do these shitty controllers. There's already, like, just extenuated the concept, and then it's just a magnetic, like, whole grippy pan area that's a different charge, and then it recognizes the rotation of the ball on the other charge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the container for it is all angled so that, you know, it wraps around the whole ball like usual. They have some sort of bizarre switches in 4 different directions that are doing a compromise between them with some sort of ball or something, and that makes no fucking sense. Why wouldn't you just keep it simple and just have a negative charge and a positive charge? You know what I mean? So that way it knows what's going the fuck on.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I like the idea of a loose but still magnetically snug, or however, ratchet ball for different games, like Super Monkey Ball or whatever else you want, a bowling game or Whizzing Winkies, you know. You have all kinds of insertable stuff.
Exactly.
I was just thinking, that whole thing where I said the phone could be mounted at the bottom, I was rethinking it here, and you know how, like, sun visors work? Would probably be better, because like phones in the future, we'll get to the point where the phone screen is also the camera.
Yeah, because of the CCD polymer gel they're already starting to employ for bendy phones.
Yes, so with that in mind, you'd probably want this perspective because you look like a cool gamer, like, you know, I did when I was playing Tetris with my hands being shown to the webcam. Boy, that sure got a lot of fucking views. Anyways, like, if the phone was mounted above the controller instead of below it, and like at an angle up at you, and like you can tilt it any way you want, so then like the whole screen in the future will be the camera. Then it like has this cool feel, like your hands are up by the camera, and then your face is taking up the middle upper area, and your hands are to either side a little bit, and like people can see your hands and thumbs moving all dynamically, all clean, smooth, while they can also see your face reacting. That's what I'm talking about.
Also, those buttons look a little too flat on that fight hard thing. I know this is just a prototype, so you know, if you wanted me to test it, you know, maybe you should also pay me. And the ones up there are rounded a little bit, but I hate the PlayStation style of buttons anyways. I was going for like modular sort of Xbox compatible with Windows already, so that I could use it, with 2 sticks and flip them around any direction. And I prefer Xbox's buttons, I have to say. I mean, ideally, I'd prefer a modular design where it's like GameCube's, because I want to be able to hold my finger, for example, on the A button if I'm in a racer, and then actually use items and stuff and hit the other buttons surrounding it. Still, with the thumbstick.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean, like. And those thumbsticks, why are they so fucking high? Just make the whole controller thicker, and then don't have them be that high. Why is every controller's thumbsticks an enormous tower? And then, like you see down here, they offer below the controller right here an even taller tower.
And a lower one.
And I'm like, just bring the whole thing nearly flush, like the GameCube did.
Exactly.
The end. And have snap angles. Don't make it round. Have 8 whatever angles around the whole thing, so that you have places. I don't know what that's called, an octagon, or is that 8 sides, or is there more I guess.
Yeah.
And it goes into all the corners, so that way you have like angle points if you need them.
Yeah, you know how there's like a glow underneath the sticks there? Well, like, why can't the sticks like glow a different amount? Like, even the top of them under your thumb, based on the amount you're pushing, so like you can get a light feel, like it intensifies the color as you push at different angles into a more intense, garish glow to prove how much you're applying force,
Precisely, and it's just the light bleed off from any extra static electricity or friction that happens between the sphere and the sphere and the negatively charged pan that it's locked in.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have any static buildup.
Yeah.
Think about it from the concept of 2 magnets working against each other.
And how everybody cheated back in the day at people was, there'd always be areas for like static charge to build up, like you're saying, in controllers and consoles in bad ways. Then that collects, uranium, and then you got in all kinds of worlds of hurt.
Yeah. I guess the number one thing here is just, I want an option for even lower sticks. I don't understand why everybody's fighting away from the concept of the GameCube's controllers where the sticks are, as flush as they need to be. Why does they need to be at all above? They can be resting in it more. Just make the controller thicker.
Also, the hand grip areas, you need to be able to, like, order these controllers and, like, you could have a version, I guess, where you could adjust it and relock it, like they turn to like be at different degrees out or in more.
Yeah.
And then you can like relock it, and then it's comfy at that angle for different people. That's probably the best solution. Or you could have it, actually 3D printed in the future, custom to the angle people want it. But whatever.
Yeah, the whole point of these modular controller concept is also that if you make it big and thick enough as well, that people can have any option they want. Third-party companies can support your controller, and you're not going to be a bitch about it. And then they can put in whatever they want into these slots.
Yeah.
That are also should be bigger, and then these, like I said, and deeper, so that way then this control sticks can rest down lower in the actual, control ring, which should have angles.
Yeah, and let's not forget they announced that they were going to, back in 2011 or whatever, with the Wii U, they were going to have the ability to put those discs into your computer. And they also announced the 3DS cartridges. They were going to have a special reader that you could put into your computer, and you could play them on your computer. All of this was going to happen, but then all of the old people in their tall towers said no.
Oh, they do have angle sticks. I forgot down here. Those will snap on apparently. So that's
So it's more GameCube-y with the lower one. So let's see here. Like, you could. That's what I'm saying. Like other ideas. How there's like that black material and controllers on the middle of the PlayStation or whatever. It's not really a screen where you can swipe your thumb. Well, you could do versions of those are more advanced, where it's also a screen that, like, you know, displays things, and then you have to, like, tap it with your thumb or something. Different shit. Whatever you can come up with.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the final thing is, I really don't like below buttons here. I don't know why they added those.
Yeah.
You already have 1, 2, 3, 4, like, you know, like stick buttons that go different directions like this, you know, 4 different directions for different items. Your sticks already fucking click, you know what I mean? Why do you need with the 2 triggers in the back,
like,
more underneath? If I squeeze too hard on accident, I fucking throw a grenade and blow my dick off?
But, like, the problem is when you're trying to, like, use the thumbstick to maneuver your around, however, in the game, and then also click it down at the same time, controllers suck at that.
Yeah, they suck at that anyway. So
always.
I don't care if, like, the spheroid doesn't even click, because that's really useless anyway.
That's why I'm saying if you had instead just a ball, that
a
ball, like
that's
Grant's saying, that you maneuver around a certain amount in any direction, but it is just a stick, but it's a ball your thumb's on, then you can always get purchased grip around on it and click while maneuvering.
Yeah, because it's the inherent nature of magnetism, of the negative charge around it, that it smoothly glides around it.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of lube around the ball, just even then, and then it's like perfect. Well, there, I solved stick drift. Grow the fuck up, everyone.
Well, you just use high quality plastic with like a polymer gel
around the ball,
around it.
Yeah, and then that rests within the negatively charged ball spheroid, cupping agent.
Let's see. Also, yeah, like I'm saying is I just want an insert for, like I'm saying, my magnetic floater stick, and then I can just push down on that harder while maneuvering like a boss in video games, and beat you all at Call of Duty Advanced.
I mean, it's still pretty simple.
Warfare.
The ball can't go anywhere because it's trapped, all the way up to the top edge, like we're seeing already here. These are just, you see how they're cup cones that go down onto rods that go into balls for no reason?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It should just be attached straight to the top of the ball. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the ball point inside should just be casting out, spokes to a bigger ball that your thumb rests on. That's just fully rounded. So the whole thing
the cap would just go on the ball. But the thing is that it doesn't need to. It could just, this whole top stick thing with the little dish you put your fingers in to rotate around, that could just stick into the middle of the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're seeing the exposed ball.
You see,
it's just
but like
around.
you're saying, maybe we don't want a axis point. Maybe we don't want it to be a top point where the ball rotates around even that. Instead, like you're saying, you just want it to be fully magnetically free until it hits the furthest it can go, whatever angle suddenly.
Well, yeah, within within the containing field of the whatever you call that, the ring around your stick.
Yeah.
That's right there. You see them on, the containment ring, I guess, on the top of this.
Well, I'm just saying controller. A trackball with parameters so it can't spin 360 is my idea.
Well, it has parameters right here. The parameters are the outlying edge here, and how it can't go past it, and that there's a stick in the middle of the ball anyways.
A little lip flange on the ball so it can't rotate further than how far the lip is.
You see, it's like they're counter to logic the entire time, because like I said, these are caps replicating the top of the spheroid already, and then they go down into like a ball actuator on a rod with like clicker sticks in 4 different directions. It's retarded, and they call those potentiality actuators.
Wow. Stupid. Potentially, they suck.
Yeah. So why wouldn't, like I keep saying, you have a little negatively charged, like surrounding thing below this lip that goes right up to the edges of it, and then the top of the ball is exposed, and the stick is just sticking into it, and it just is magnetized, in place because it's snug, with some polymer coating around the outside, like you said, so it squeaks around perfectly fine.
And there's some people who are weird, and instead of thumbsticks, they just want like gel screens that they move their thumbs around on that respond with like color and vibration. Yeah,
right. A little bit of squish and like a
I mean, yeah, that's one way of doing it. I know that'd be popular. So, yeah.
Because hard glass touchscreens suck balls.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, fuck you, pay me because you're too stupid to think of anything.
Yeah, if it's like a squishy
that.
packet you
That's
put
what
your
I'm saying.
thumb on that like feels all.
Well, yeah. Once again, just more plant-based polymer.
Yeah.
It's all the concept of the same CCD thing I'm talking about. It's just different densities and
Because people already
squishinesses.
have advanced polymer phones that feel good to touch, so just bring that to as if it's a thumbstick little spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. That's why I'm disappointed in that Steam controller, because you know that those mouse pad touch sensitive spots on it don't really work that great because they don't have any squish or give. You don't feel like you can tactically press your fingers into like squishy polymer that indents and move it so it's like precise. They're just, you have to rub them like gently across the surface of the Valve
imagine
index
if you
controller
also
or
had
whatever.
little thimble cap things that were, you know, rubbery band that went over your thumbs. And then they have like a little record needle plastic point over your thumb, right where your pad, you know, spins into a point.
But sort of rounded a little bit.
A little bit rounded. Then you can drag those over like a touch black surface or screen
so then they have
surface,
pinpoint
perfect
accuracy.
Pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
And then you know it's lined up with your brain because you line those bands up so that that point is right over the spin of your thumbprint mark.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you can always know when you're pushing it how you're gonna push it just right.
Then my friend Crowley, then he can use his fingers to make artwork instead of always a pen. You know, when he gets tired and he gets cramped, he can use like his index finger or thumb and like do some drawing that way with like either it in the swirl point of his finger, or if it's easier for him on the tip, you know, like of your index finger or whatever other finger. So then you can sort of, you know, push into the gel that's soft with another little gel point, you know, like you're saying. And
and the harder you push, the
thimble.
more it applies, you know, whatever effect you want. You know, you know how that is.
Yeah, so fuck you, pay me technology. Fuck you, pay me. Fuck my dick.
Yeah, imagine how awesome of artwork I could make if I had a nice gel pad like I'm talking about here for like Lord of the Rings stuff I'm coming up with and all that. Like, I got a good imagination and I've got good hand-eye coordination once my kidneys, you know, function fully here.
Yeah,
I used to, you know, forge signatures like no one's business. Oh, wait, I was supposed to mention that.
Yeah, anyways, the point is that who gives a shit? It's not illegal to forge a signature if you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with it that's illegal. So, ha, I can do it all day.
Yeah, it's like saying, "Oh no, oh man." It's so it's tragic that you can stare at your parents', you know, signature and copy it. Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't get up to anything with it, but also
I don't have a signature.
Like
My
what I
hands are
really
busted.
did was, you know, when back in the day that everybody gave a shit because it was like Greek concept. Nobody gave a shit about all their fake government demon baby stuff going on in the states and at the federal levels, but if it was Greek style enough, like if you get, everybody kept getting more and more back then in the 2000s into petitions in all different ways. So like I was like, okay, everybody's like saying they're gonna uphold petition stuff, so they did. So I would collect petition signatures, and everybody, you know, an old person, a drunk person, you know, they're the easiest to get to sign maybe, or a child. So they all have sucky handwriting. So I could examine how their bodies functioned and copy their handwriting exactly with slight improvements. So I could like come in and like make their address or name or whatever legible and still make it look exactly like they wrote it all. So then the whiny people that are the demon baby clerks that look that over, you know, because any clerk in all of history is always whiny about people being cool and living their life outside of office walls. So, you know, knowing that, I had to present them with something that was easy to understand so they would, you know, put a big green check mark on each one.
Yeah, and all you're doing is complete. You see, you have to look at the real legality of things. If you're completing somebody's will, their desire.
If I ask them if I can,
then
it's legal.
It's legal.
But you know, they don't. I can't tell them I was doing that till now because they're so upset when, you know, cool things happen. Then they really get upset.
Yeah, well, back to what I was saying. Another thing, like I was saying with the CCD gel screen, that'd actually be a good idea for this controller. Because then, for example, if you're like playing a game and you want like on a map, you have your map constantly open. Any first-person shooter, a new Battlefield game, an old Battlefield game, you just modify anything.
You can touch it with your thumb.
Yeah, and you can draw things on it, and then your teammates in your squad can see when you plug in.
Game,
yeah, any game like that, any strategy, anything, they can see the overhead map and like you drawing arrows on it and like little smiley faces and stuff, and then you wipe it easily by wiping your hand across it, in one swift motion, that's like covering the whole screen, so it knows that you're wiping it rather than like.
You can plug your phone right into it, and League of Legends can run on your phone. So then you have a controller with your like 7 to 10 phone.
The whole point was to have the ultimate controller that like is for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, anything really.
Phone, Nintendo, anything.
Yeah, so that way I have one controller. It's dependable.
Yeah, we can get a bunch of these, and you just buy the cheap button inputs. Like I was saying, you have one in the living room for your dumb grandmas to like push all their favorite buttons.
And that's what I was saying. I was saying, okay, so you're real upset. I can see everybody saying, yeah, but if we put the spheroid in, then we lose our clicky buttons that are terrible anyways, and I hate. But okay. So you want your clicky buttons. Well, at the very bottom of the spheroid, when you press it straight down, because you have to press it straight down with any of these for them to work, is a little standardized clicky switch at the bottom of the spheroid, because spheroids, you see, towards the top, they become more pointed than they are round in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the stick being on the very top of the spheroid. Well, on the very bottom, where it's the most... Well, I'm just saying, it doesn't need to be on the point, because it's a ball-like container that's also round around it that ends up at the top point where it sticks out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go fully around your little ball. That's why I want the ball further in anyways.
Yes.
And flusher. I don't know why they have these towering sticks when they should be right just as tall as they need to be, like the GameCube. Anyways, you press in a little bit, and the tip of the other pole, basically, on the bottom, clicks the little switch at the bottom of the dish. You know what I mean? Of the containing spheroid that you put your sphere into with the stick on it. And they're both magnetic, and it works really easy, and it's just that simple.
Say you're playing a Nintendo mini game, and you like want extra precision, so like you have this bowling ball shaped stick concept going, where it's like you're like one of those like ball turrets sticking out of like a spaceship, and you're like firing at aliens for a mini game, or like you're in a bunker that's round shaped, and you're like gophers that are like shooting out through slits, like that type of round concept where you need to actuate different angles quickly in that way would be lots of fun.
Yeah, and like I said, it's actually better for clicking. You'll have more potential to click that stick at an angle because there's a sphere, and at the bottom of where, like the force collects. Think about force the same way as water or anything else.
Yes. The
sphere in the bottom of the bowl, it will always slide, because it's taut, you know what I mean? It has nowhere to slide, but the pressure will always go into the clicker switch. Better
without
than the
throwing
standard.
Off your aim.
Yeah, better than the standard one, because it's got nowhere to go. It just depresses it a little bit because it's resting on it in the first place.
Yeah, while your thumb can still maintain accuracy of holding
even if you're
angle.
Cramming it into the corner of your containment ring that's around the sphere right here. Also, just lower that down. Even that's too tall. Like, it needs to be flush with it. Why do you want it any taller than it needs to be? It makes you less accurate. Why do you want to be on a little platform like you're balancing in a stupid mini game in some Mario game with your thumbs in order to play games? Why do people want them taller yet still?
Well, here's the thing. I know, but like you want it like other people might want it like tiny, like because they got tiny thumbs, like shooter marble size. When you play marbles, the shooter marbles, they're bigger. That's too small for me. Like, I want a big old fat ball that, like, I can rest my fat thumb on and move around languorously. Like, I can lay my entire thumb over it like an alligator on a riverbank, and really wiggle with my joint down into my wrist instead of my thumb at all.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like, if you're going to do a trackball, it really doesn't matter about, like you already said and I already said, where, without a stick on it of any height.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if it's contained or not, because then it's just a magnetic trackball. You know what I mean? Like traditional. I don't understand how people don't get this. Like, the difference is you could even just like I say, unscrew your controller from the top and put a little fucking plug into the top of it, and then it could be modularized into the trackball you're talking about. You'd prefer one that has consistency of spin in all directions for you.
Yeah.
But it still works. The same principle applies.
Yeah, I'm just saying, make everything different sizes, too. That's all.
Make different sizes of these controllers.
Yeah, different sizes of buttons that go into them.
Exactly.
Because, what's up with the PlayStations and Xboxes? Tiny little buttons all, in that triangle square thing. Like, why are they so tiny?
Arrange them for people's fingers so that they can actually use them, for the love of fuck.
Like, come on. Like,
maybe arrange them once again, like I say, like the GameCube, around the stick that is the ball we're talking about.
Well, yeah, you can do a version of that. But that might require my idea where instead of an elongated side on each side of the controller, it's just a big square you work with.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. When you talked about it, you wanted a square, and I agreed. And then,
but then I said this is what would be easy for people's minds to do first.
Yeah, but once again, that's why you need to fuck me and pay me, because I ain't gonna keep doing this shit forever for free. This is kind of inferior to what he's saying, and who cares if the controller is bigger? You can just, have it's certain aspects of it smaller within the bigness, so that your fingers can still grab things.
It's not really bigger, because you see, if you consider that the square part can go down into the grip handle a little bit.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, those grips are way too wide. Everybody always says this about most controllers these days. It's the biggest problem anyways, and not long enough. Because you want it to go down beneath your palm in an elongated form anyways, most people. Yeah. So that they have good grip and they can press with like the backs of their palms, maybe even their wrists, so that they feel comfortable with it, rather than grabbing these nubs.
Yeah, what if you had, here's another idea.
Just longer control
What
handles.
if, how I was saying, you could angle to different angles in like a ratchet point? What if you could put on different ones that were like a foot long, and then there's like resistance on the hinge point that is like that goes along your wrist towards your the inside of your elbows, and then you can like push on the actual controller
once again with more ball bearing hinges. But probably one directional. You'd want them to just
inwards.
Yeah. So then you could rev a car motor or something with them. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, feel like you're viscerally squeezing the either controller grip stick between your forearms.
Yeah.
Feels real sexual. I don't know.
Or it could be shorter.
It can vibrate.
If you really want,
Yeah, you have different lengths. Could vibrate into your forearms, which helps you relax your forearms with haptic feedback. That's good. You can adjust it in different styles of motors for like massaging your forearms while you play, so that you're actually healing while you play your games.
Yeah, exactly. Because these little stubby sticks are good for nothing.
That's
even the
what
GameCube had better, more human hand like grip spots.
I'm going so far, I'm so angry everyone's made them so nubby like this, like it's like the worst iteration of the Batman, like his little upside down bat nipples on his head.
Like a little, tiny Batman like wings and ears.
Yeah, it's gay. So I'm no, just have like Tony Stark fucking nanobots run up your arms when you grab it, and then you Spider-Man suit of the fucking controller, man.
Was that the ad for it?
Yeah, full body blows actuating, like your Spider-Man getting beaten up by Dr. Octopus.
So you're saying that it sends a magnetic charge through the little hinges that would be here and here, so that it will kick back, it'll kick outward or inward depending upon what you're doing.
Exactly. So you have to adjust
your arms and wrists.
Your arms, so you're getting a workout.
Yeah, then it's cool for mini games too. Like pump up the balloon or something. Like work the bellows, and you move the controllers, the arms back and forth, from the
Then that can charge up the controller because you do it rhythmically. No, I'm just kidding.
Recharge the battery.
Yeah, imagine if it was so advanced it had little, like your electric car picks up energy when you push on the brake. What if it had little
around the ball bearings,
metal electrical spinners to pick up energy if you pump it? Yeah, that'd be so dumb.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't think anybody's gonna do that, but that's like steampunk era nonsense. It'd be funny though.
Yeah.
But yeah, like seriously,
sitting there for a half hour charging up your controller because your power went out.
Yeah, but that would take a bunch of battery. And then I'm like, yeah, but you know those things that go along your elbows, you know, or up to your elbows along your wrists that do that.
Yeah, these should be so much
they
longer.
They have batteries in them along with the actuators. Along with the vibration and whatnot.
But who gives a shit? I've always preferred wired controllers, so I don't really feel for all the people and their desire for wireless.
I'm just saying it can be done wireless with like 10,000 to 20,000 mAh batteries inserted into each, controller grip that's elongated.
Are we describing it well enough? Do people understand what we're saying?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah, I don't think there's any way of misinterpreting. I just have anxiety that they're really stupid, but they made this based on us just talking, so I'm pretty sure they understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people...
And you gotta have like some sort of rubber or protective stuff over the ball bearing point so you can't pinch your skin.
Yeah, most people, yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I was saying, those smooth hinges, but instead there's like a ball bearing where like
it's all contained within, you can't touch it. Exactly, good point.
And then you just, I don't know, you put some rubber over it, like a rubber stretchy case over the whole thing, over the whole controller that's polymer, so then it's hidden under that anyways by a little bit.
Yeah, and then see, my idea when there's squares that are next to each other, filling up that whole controller area space huge, then you could insert two just screen pieces and clip your phone to it, then it can mirror like a 3DS with dual screens.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just by pushing them together, and then they you have a little spots on either side of the screen to plug each controller side into, or one side, whatever.
What? No, you just you just insert two square LED screen pieces into the controller, and then they flush meet in the middle and then there's like no pixel width there. They're just touching, and then it creates a wider screen.
On the inside of the controller here, you have like plug ports, so that the screen plugs into either side to receive like equal power and like sort of to be wedged in place better. I don't know.
Well, you couldn't do that if you had actuator hinges there. I just removed any. I didn't want to put the screen there. I want to put it on the upper side.
Good point.
I'm not even thinking about that anymore. So you're not even getting what I'm saying. Where the thumbstick shit goes, you put two, like I was saying, square areas to insert thumbsticks or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you can have insertable screen gel polymer screens.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're flush, touching at the center point.
Yeah, just the
so
whole
it's like
spot
a wide
needs to be
screen,
modular.
big old screen area that's touchable.
Yeah.
And then you can mount your phone above that. And then it mimics a 3DS.
Yeah, because the whole area here, not these stupid angles, should just be, like you're saying, just two big squares that are right next to each other. Then it can rest however it needs to within them, depending upon the design. Like, come on. Well, why do you need it to be so compacted within this modular design? Who gives a shit?
That's why I only brought this up mostly at the time and then didn't talk too much about my ideas that I came up with now, because I came up with them then, but I didn't talk about them.
Yeah.
So, I knew that phony Sonys would just grab onto this design. Then they'll be basic. They'll release their shit, before other people by a fucking 2 seconds. And no one will care because it's just limited like this.
And that's why Sony fags are always the biggest thieves, because they try to take something, even if they heard it, in thin air, while breaking down and dying out into the blackness of deep space. Then they pick up any frequency of light or energy from anyone, anywhere, even if they're in a bunker.
Yeah, there are live wires out there.
Yeah, even if they're in a bunker underground like Hitler and he's running like a fucking air compressor, they're like, still heard it. And I'm like, and you're going out of existence for it.
Yeah, so they're pedophiles. That's what they do. Come on.
Yeah, they spy on everybody. It's what they do. Sony's a little eye toy. Your
your
asshole's a little eye toy.
Now they can't even manufacture it out without like better quality plastic and like monk fruit components and whatever.
My point is this. This is an incredibly basic modular design, and like you said, you basically let on Sony fags, and then they get fucked because, yeah, it should be two squares, evenly just spaced. Why would they be at angles still?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Then people can insert whatever they want into those two square spaces to, you know...
The whole top flat of the controller is just two squares, big old huge ones.
Yep.
Like you said, and then the sticks can be wherever they want. I can't believe that nobody's invented this shit. Like, I'm actually not even joking. Like, they didn't think, oh man, yeah, you could just have negative and positive charge electromagnetism on the sticks, and then a clicker button at the bottom of the spheroid that's containing, like, the spheroid shell that's containing the sphere just has a little clicker button, and then you choose how much force you want it to have on the bottom depending upon who's selling it, because some would be overly sensitive and you wouldn't want them because you'd click it too easy when rolling the ball around with too much force.
And then people may be asking, well, what kind of port, plug, connection point is beneath whatever you're inserting? And my response is our DJI has that gold prong point for like putting on a thumbstick for guiding the head. Well, that would work.
Yeah,
like
those
that
type of big modular prongs that you see for DSLRs and everything where they're always gold.
Yeah, really golden, whatever. Those would work.
Yeah, big prong nubs that push in and you can...
Yeah, and they really, hold good until you make them come loose.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's a lot better than just being able to flip these sticks around so that they rest in a cliche Sony position when you could have giant squares and do that and everything else, and companies could make whatever they wanted modularly for them.
It's obviously the concept with Sony phonies that they're all united and breaking their hands with the shitty controller the same way. So then it breaks their shoulders, breaks their chests, their whole bodies are broken the same way.
Those sticks are too close together by a little bit. I'd like them a little farther apart.
So then you can see them, shambling like, a Bigfoot out of the woods, with their hairy beards, and their broken, shambling gaits. And you say, oh man, there go the pedophiles, kids. They play Sony video games.
Yeah, whereas Xbox people, they're addicted to piss. This is not just a cliche. This is truth. I wish I was joking. I wish the life didn't work out this way and it wasn't this dumb. But they're like Mountain Dwa.
Yeah,
they like piss down their throat.
When it came to, Microsoft, and their gaming, appealing to the masses, the Mountain Dew drinkers, no matter what style of Mountain Dew it is, they wanted it to feel like it's all AMD, direct gem processing to your eyeballs, but to have it be all pisso-vision as well. So they were always pushing for Microsoft to have a little bit of AMD and Nvidia and whatever else necessary in there to really fucking, deliver that piss.
Yeah, but like I always repeat, GameCube copy them, which is, I'm not too upset. It's just annoying because for other people who don't use their hands at all throughout the day, having one stick higher than the other one in that Xbox style you even see here when you don't flip it around is almost worse than Sony controllers, even if the sticks are too close together. And, like I said, that's why it needs to be two giant squares that are modular instead of these what do you call these, triangles? When they're elongated, that's called a triangle, right?
Yeah. Elongated? That's a rectangle.
Rectangle, right? Yeah. Two rectangles. No, just put two giant squares that are evenly placed. So then you can choose the place that, whatever modular unit you want, wherever you want, like you're saying, and have the sticks be wherever you want them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But generally speaking, it's fucking retarded to have the sticks be higher. You must have such bizarre nerves. They can't even explain to me how their nerves work that they wouldn't want the stick to be GameCube style and just as flush as possible with, the little ring there, so you have the smallest travel distance perceptionally when it comes to going to the sides, because you have to move your hand more from above, your thumb more, because it's so much up higher. The fuck, why is this so tall? Why? I can't believe they were using potentioactuators instead of just ball bearing spheres in here with like I said, a negatively charged cup sphere outside of it that goes all the way up to the ring, and then push, like I said, cut even that off all the way down until it's real close, and then it just you just have 100% accuracy.
Also, why can't we design a controller where it like has a actual like center vibrating like and supported like that's what actually fit into my new controller design. That's more rugged and awesome and huge. Like women can like, you know, have a joystick at the center, you know, rudder, you know, that's penis shaped or whatever, and then they could like, you know, put that in their pussy and hold the long handles and then like, you know, angle it differently to like massage their pussy into loosening up and getting flexible to fuck the penis is good, while also playing a video game where you're moving the character around different angles.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm nuts.
No, you're just acting more Asian than an Asian. Asians
Yeah.
always just say, "What if we brought greater pleasure using science and technology?" That's all they ever do. They secretly, all Asians want to fuck robots. I don't know why. They just really,
my
they need
design-
robots to replace humans. Then they need to die while having robot maids fuck them. And their last thought on their brain as they fade off is, the robots will replace us. We've made them capable of manufacturing their own parts and mining their own materials to continue their own cycle of life. We have now mastered being retarded.
Yeah. See, you know, then, you know, nerd girls can, you know, work out their pussies and get ready for a real penis, you know? It'd be great.
For real big penis.
I mean, yeah, we can come up with all different ways for guys to work out their penis while gaming, but I don't really care right now.
Yeah, we don't really need to do that right now. In closing, I just wanted to say that putting one thumbstick way above the other one, I don't really think is that great for your health if you don't constantly, like, for example, I even draw different things. I always do different things with my hands. I, like, type a bunch. Other people, they sit there and, like, mouth breathe, and they're just, like, somehow shifting some tendons in their thumbs and hands, and hence into their shoulders and neck, off by a little bit, and making it worse by always, like, since the birth of Xbox. Like, I mean, GameCube did the same thing. Shame on GameCube. How dare they? Like, you know, they have no other option. Sure, GameCube is a little closer together. It's a little better. But it's still the same thing going on.
Just imagine the arcades at Barbie Sextopia, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're fabulous. I mean, at home, you know, I guess, you know, you can already do what I was talking about. But yeah, whatever. I'll get into that later.
Yeah. That Barbie movie is going to have as much involvement as the main actors of Barbie 1 want to have in it. It's completely up to them. They can be just an observer viewing a fascinating world of Barbie that's entirely the sexual aspect instead of somewhat, you like the first movie, because it's like saying sex is a part of life, so, you know, it needs to be there. After all, pink and purple are the colors of people's erogenous zones. But it's like saying, does your sexuality, like, you know, assist you in life, or do you just, you know, assist your sexuality with your life?
I mean, it can be so ridiculous. They have a new purple butane hot rod car that doesn't offer many service stations. Then they just get stuck in Sextopia, you know, because they can't refill their car on butane for a little while.
That's a really good plot. I like that.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's the beginning of the plot.
It's just funny to me, so I had to say it.
Yeah, but that's like Barbie 3,
Yeah,
I think. Because,
I
like,
know.
we'll probably come out with the number 2 sequel anyways.
Because number 2 seems to have a lot of, like, look how awesome your kitchen can be and other places in your life type feelings.
Yeah, like enjoy your life, like make it better. You
Yeah.
know, like maybe the problem is, like I always say, that you don't have the things in life, not
Yeah.
possessions of demons. You don't have the correct objects that are useful to do any of the things you want. Like you say, you really like making pie, but we need to make
Yeah.
making pie easier, you know?
Yeah, and here's the thing. You know, I talked a little bit in a live stream last night about the idea of, maybe the night before, hydroponics, where it's actually like spraying mist onto the roots properly that has all of the, you know, mixtures of minerals. Well, in my fridge, you know, there's fulvic humic minerals.
Yeah.
And that, you know, if you drink that too much, you feel weird, and it gives most people diarrhea, not me, but I'm like, that's for plants. That's the taste plants crave.
Yeah,
you know?
you see what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to tell everybody is, you got to get the minerals out of your plants. That's why everybody said fresh fruits and vegetables. You know, they've gotten so sick of it, as if, like, if they get sick of hearing it, people that are juvenile, then they can just, you know, go and just act like they're a robot and consume minerals, metals, polymers that belong in the soil of plants that they're supposed to consume.
Yeah, because if you have...
For some reason, with weed, they'll accept that that's the way it works.
Yeah. If you have constant, like, thick hydrogen water mist, with, like, that micro mineral stuff spraying onto the plant, like, whatever, their roots, then yeah, that's hydroponics. Better than their bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. All I can say is just this. When it comes right down to it, imagine this. Any food could be euphoric. You wouldn't know, would you?
Yeah.
If you never put whatever, even gemstones that you find you have an addiction to, let's say because of weed, hemp, whatever, ganja, marijuana, all the different varieties, some Russian name, Kruskakrakruka. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you just put quartz or something stupid into your carrot field,
Yeah.
like I heard about, then the carrots don't taste right to anyone. Then only goats want them.
Exactly. I mean, I might like them, but I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
The point is this: like, you gotta, with everything in life, in order to achieve, yes, you have to understand this. In order to achieve the proper balance of some sort of effect, because anything is technically a high. Everybody has an addictive personality. I know you fuckers. Like, you act like corn is ultimate ecstasy, especially people that were never born in North America and their genetics aren't from here. Corn is considered basically like the ultimate, you know, it's the same thing whenever people are so addicted that they don't even want to mention it. But it's like, I see you fuckers. It's like the ultimate pleasure. It creates spinal sensations, like as if sunlight's pouring through your nerves and into your gut as you're digesting sun and light. You have, you know, all these different hard to describe sensations going on. There's some quote that somebody said making fun of everybody about maize and how, you know, it creates all these effects and stimuli.
Yeah.
My point is, it's all perception. So, you know, maybe instead of eating metal and getting, a tiny burst of sensation, I mean, you know, it's already been proven with weed, you know, whatever sensation you want out of light, because you're so brain-based, all you idiots, that you all want an explosion of light. Well, corn is kind of like that, and that's why people are so addicted to corn syrup, which, in my opinion, is it's kind of a drug. You know what I mean? It's like concentrating into like a sugar substrate that's so strong, it's like blowing up your organs and melting your bones. Anyways, if you just put some gold in the soil, if you crush some other golden plants, leaf, golden seal, that stuff that makes canola oil, any of these different plants, even mix them together, you'd probably get a better explosion of euphoria out of eating a common bit of cornbread than you would out of corn syrup. But you never experiment because you act like debalancing things and making artifices of structures is better than, you know, finding out ways of growing things properly to get what you need out of them, or concentrating them slightly to get what you need out of them. And the thing here is, those highs don't last as long as slight concentrations, slight, you know, reconstitutions that aren't drugs yet. They fade because your body gets used to it. It builds up a defense mechanism because it's hurting it, you know what I mean? And so the only way to have a life full of being high is to be slightly less high all the time in certain ways, and to exercise more, and then those highs return to you. You see, everybody wants to sit on their fat ass and constantly receive a rush.
Imagine how you could have a greenhouse that's the size of a vending machine, the smallest size, in your garage, that like has different colored grow lights like I've come up with, and you know, it doesn't get too much of the grow light on the of course the roots, because that's not good for them, and the roots got, like I'm saying, that mist and solution going on them, and then can sometimes be dunked into straight up water and then back out again, and it like cycles, you know, keeps the plants healthy. Then let's see here, it's all done through, you know, how you can do like a vending machine. It can move 360 within a track that goes on the sides and ceiling and move different, plants to get different amounts of light within there, and then like produce them like a vending machine at you when like your sprouts are done, or you want to like pick the strawberries off of your patch of strawberries in your garage there in your vending machine grow tank that you just insert your grow cartridge into or whatever. That seems pretty practical, and that's a pretty pushy way to do it, though.
And then the roots are being dipped in water, like you're saying, cycled through it and kept moist and sprayed with nutrients rather than constantly being in it, which always develops, growth issues and too much chances of moss and other things. Mold
because most plants aren't straight up swamp growth plants.
No, only
some are, but not most. So, that's the right compromise. And then everybody can be real fucking suburbanite about it. Yet then they'll start eating so much healthier, as it all automatically does it for them in their dispenser, that they'll want to get out and play, 3 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Barbie's about, is getting to choose through a billion, trillion, quadrillion options, and to keep presenting life in a way that it's like, well, how do you want to fill out your day? Because I know you're all worthless pieces of shit that don't work. After all, you worked me to death on a fucking strawberry farm, not paying me the money that I was owed. So, for all that infinite labor, for all that infinite fucking fruit, while it's one of the few things that you get that's even fucking fresh, everything else is harvested by giant tractors. And strawberries are so complex and delicate that it's just hard to do it with any sort of robot machine very efficiently.
That's why I'm laughing at all of you, because I'd have to set up the program and stuff for specifically the strawberries to grow in a vending machine style thing like that. Yeah, I doubt any of you could get that to work.
Yeah, my point is this, though.
But other things are easier to do, like carrots and all the rest.
Has anybody ever considered that, and this is the final part, if you're not already convinced enough about, things just needing the right vital minerals to make a better plant that would make you feel better in life and more high in general? Any plant? Well, for example, a drug, like they're always saying, it requires a structure. You know how I said they like the lack of structure and the instantaneous high? Well, just on a side note, any good, well-built drug that isn't falling apart and literally made out of rot has a structure that is very well solidified and isn't going to fall apart for quite a few years, just like a concentrate of a plant. You're very mediocrely copying nature when you could just, squeeze the pine acid out of a pine tree and then run it through, like thinly spread it on like a pane of quartz and then send intense certain frequencies of UV light through it, capturing those UV lights into solar rays. You can do this with almost any resin. And then those solar rays are an addictive light color and also like a cleaning light that you could put into a battery and then, use with regular LED or quartz diodes or gold diodes in the LEDs and clean surfaces.
Yeah.
And then everybody instead just, stares at the light until their face melts off. But,
Well, they don't have to, but they will.
I guess I just made a drug that kills everybody, but it's pure energy, so it's not a drug, right? See?
It's a cleaning agent. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Sprouts and carrots, and I'm trying to think other stuff that grows in kind of a contained space, not too huge and not too elongated of more than a month or a few months. That could all be done in the vending machine thing, the style of grows kit. But then you'd have to do for like bigger stuff like tomatoes and whatever else. You'd have to have a full-on like greenhouse that's comes in different sizes that attaches to your garage. And like, of course, for the Barbie movie, like, that they'll be into this because of their genetics, actually. Like, your steam room is your greenhouse, so then like the sun's coming in and it's steamy and you can adjust it because the plants don't fucking care. The plants can take some steam for a little while. And you can be off from, I guess, the plants in like a separate section, I guess. with a closable partition or something. I don't know. Because I guess if you really wanted to get hot up to 180 degrees steam, that might hurt different plants that aren't jungly.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea of having like super jungle plants in with me in my steam room because I'm insane. I don't know. That doesn't have to be directly, mainline Barbie. That's just an idea for whatever, whoever.
Yeah. Are we done now?
I suppose so.